Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Mysca.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. Something a bit different that we're doing this time. It's more or less like a VOD review, but we want to go over some very specific mistakes being made on main tank. Both of us play an awful lot of like Reinhardt or have done in the past. And so we just wanted to go over this game with a sub of ours that really wanted to improve his Reinhardt gameplay.
Yeah, so we're basically doing an Overwatch Central style VOD review. We're probably going to get better at this as we do more. We have some plans, so send in your gameplay in the link in the description. It's Google form, really easy. All the info's there. Okay, starting off, Junker gets a pick on Soldier. Amazing. You weren't really there to give him the shield to do that, but luckily it worked out. He didn't die, he got the pick instead, but he gets picked as well. So this is equal footing. This is fine. This happens when you're sort of poking away at each other. It's kind of the point of it. You get a rest too, so you're in a good spot here, but you're kind of just shielding a Soldier, I don't know, shooting a Zenyatta or something. When your entire team is kind of like up by the choke, and I think this is the thing
somewhere that you need to apply pressure to, and I think this is what we're about to see. Is all of this space is just giving up right now, so the Doomfist is going to charge in. This is good because you have a Junkrat that's going to be able to do a lot of damage on this high ground, so you're almost baiting the enemy team out. But that's just one of those situations where you want to constantly be applying pressure to their front line. Otherwise, you could have just let them onto the high ground for free there.
So if they would have had a Reinhardt there, a Reinhardt-Zarya combo instead of, I think there's Zarya Roadhog or something.
Yeah, there's no main tank that you play into either.
If they would have had that Reinhardt, they would have won that. They would have killed you, they would have had their Reinhardt on the high ground, and they wouldn't have died to random Junkrat spam because that would have gone on the Reinhardt shield. So it's pretty lucky, but at the end of the day, we've been going for about a minute and 30 seconds coming up here. And neither team have really done anything.
Yep.
It's kind of just like a stalemate, which is great. You're defending. You don't really want anything to change, right?
Yep.
So this is totally fine.
That was really good positioning there, though. That's the kind of place you want to be. But, you know, Numbani, there's so many ways that the enemy can push in that you're so focused on that right-hand side. You're sitting back. There's no front line on your team at the moment, and you're just constantly being scared off by, you know, a Moira on her own right-clicking you, and you've got your shield up trying to protect something. And this is a prime example of not reacting to where the enemy team are coming from, which is a big mistake from Reinhardt, right?
Yeah, so here doesn't seem like anyone actually knows what's going on. You see the contested thing, you see the Doomfist, but your team kind of jumps down, but you don't.
Yeah.
And there's no reason not to here. This is kind of weird. You go for this late backwards charge or whatever.
It's like a cute play, but
it really is just like if you would have gone for that charge, you should have had someone call that someone is going from underneath way before, and then gone for a charge in that little room that leads to the point, something like that. But and not straight down the corridor, because Christ, that just kills you every time. But yeah, point is that there was no communication. Nobody reacted to them coming from underneath. You need to go and meet them there, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So now we're into this second phase of Numbani. The classic snowball is kind of getting started with the Soldier dying, but okay, you equalize at least. Yeah, this is really awkward. You need to set up on this corner, and you want to do this early. But this is really where you want to communicate your intentions as well as a tank. It's like everything.
Yeah, especially after you've lost people, you either want to be getting out or like completely dedicating in. Because good thing about this push that's about to happen is that they dedicate a lot of ultimates to it. Still manage to sort of win out, but you've got 5, almost 6 ultimates ready for this push. And they're not really engaging too much, but you need to show that Doomfist more, but that's not necessarily your problem. A lot of stuff happening now, though.
Okay, so the enemy team is basically just... everyone's pressing Q after Riptide came out, including your team. This is just a plat game. Like, one person presses Q, everyone goes, oh, it's ultimate time, and presses Q and goes straight in. Yeah, this is really awkward. At this point here, they are essentially 5v3, I believe, on your team. And, yeah...
You dedicate an ultimate.
Yeah, you dedicate an ultimate. Oh, you have a hog there, too. I think you could have won that, but it's just like, it just wasn't really looking great already. If you back off and try to sort of stabilize a bit, I think you're setting yourself up much better. Your Mercy feeds another 700 HP ult charge for no reason, because she rests you and dies herself. But yeah, all in all, that fight is just basically enemy team pressing Q and actually getting some value, and you not really getting any.
Exactly. And this is a good sort of, you know, you're pressing tab now, perfect time to see what the team are running, what you're running, how you should be playing. Because if you say a Zarya on your team, they don't have a main tank, like all of these checklists dictate how aggressive you can play as a Reinhardt, but because they have a Doomfist, they have a Hog, they have a Zarya, you can't really get straight into their front line and start swinging a bit. Yeah. You're very defensive in how you're sitting, which is causing a lot of problems. Sometimes it's the right decision, but also... like this, you've lost your shield, you've backed completely out of the fight. When you've got so many picks in your favour, you've used ultimates, you're winning out this fight, yet you're still acting quite scared of the enemy team here.
Yeah, so, okay, what kind of happened there as well is that they come to the second point, you get like 2 or 3 picks as your team, But because of like they have so much spam and you don't have a Zarya, your shield is gonna die a lot in this game. You're gonna be taking a lot of damage. It's fine. It's not really a problem. Your shield dying is bad, but at the same time pushing forward there would have been fine too with those 3 picks.
Especially with the supports that you have too.
Your Mercy can just pocket you and you can just
or just res you if you die.
Yeah,
so, like
you're fine to push there a little bit harder, and take back some of the space, because right now you're all kind of playing cart. You let the Zarya come to you. Sen finally actually uses his ult. In like a spot where he finds value. They answer with the same, equal picks. There's not much really happening in this fight, just a lot of spam. The thing about this is that the longer the fights go on with your team, the more you lose out, because they have a lot of spam and you don't have a Zarya. That's just the truth. Here would be a great opportunity to maybe shatter, but it comes out kind of late. I don't think, are you able to capitalize off of this? Yeah, you do find some picks, but this Doomfist is really just, can do anything he wants to because there's no Zarya. So,
it's difficult to charge your ultimate, that's the main thing. Sometimes it's just really easy to generate overshots because you have a Zarya protecting you, you can just run into their sort of backline almost because you have a Lucio. But here, because you have so much pressure on your shield, your focus shouldn't be trying to get Fire Strike. And we really want to highlight this defense. On the attack, there's a lot of like forced Fire Strikes. And also some of these charges that have come through there have just been, again, quite cute, trying to catch people out. But you could have got hooked by the Roadhog there, completely taken out the fight, especially now that they're starting to snowball and get picks. Okay, so your Junker finds the 2 picks. This is when you want to go up to this corner. After this Moira ultimate that I think could have had more of an impact on the game if it would have been earlier. You really want to go take that space. Sure, there's a soldier, but this is when you go to the corner and you take this space. Instead, you Fire Strike and you back off. This keeps happening a lot. You did this on the first point too, where you just hang back. There's attack visor, but it's not that big of a deal. It's a lone soldier, and you just give up this entire ground to the enemy team. Your soldier is like holding the payload alone right now. It's like you have no trust in your team to like deal with stuff behind you, which is something that you have to do as a Reinhardt to an extent. You got to trust your teammates a bit more to deal with flankers and stuff.
For sure.
And this is where the pressure's coming from too.
Yeah. You could have earth shattered much earlier there. Even if you don't get all of them, it's fine. It felt like you were kind of waiting for the trance to end to get like a 4-person earth shatter. You can kind of shatter them a little bit before the trance ends and just go for like a 2 or 3 man and maybe actually drag this out a bit. Luckily, only you actually really die from that grab, and your team is able to kind of hold this in the end. But man, that is really like there's no
keep hold W, keep going, keep going.
There's not much of a choice, much of a reason to hold that shatter. And again, this is the same thing. You feel comfortable back on the cart here, so you stay back on the cart here.
Like, especially now that there's sort of you're going into one last engagement, you want to be fighting off the point. You want to be fighting in this choke, make it as hard as possible for them to actually even touch it.
You have 2,500 hit points and you're more scared than your soldier. It's like you shouldn't really be this scared. You should walk up here. That corner right there of that tunnel where the enemy is, that's your corner. But instead you hang back a lot, which is that's okay. But in the end you get the shatter, and it all kind of just works out because they don't get on the cart. I think that's just Platinum Games, honestly. Yeah. There's no Tracer to blink on the cart. There's nothing like that. It's okay.
The shot was good at sort of stalling them out, but other than that, like, what would you say are the main areas that you would sort of look at there? Because that's a very typical Plat game. And I think Reinhardt has the ability to actually, and Zarya's more common to be able to carry as these heroes. I think Reinhardt is a very big dark horse of being able to actually, control games like that. And I just saw this as more of a case of he was the only main tank that was in this, and he could have had so much more freedom. So just to sort of finish on real quick, like what can our Reinhardt do a little bit better on defense? It's a very typical game, and I think as you said, it's a very Plat game.
Yeah. So 2 takeaways from defense there for the Reinhardt. Number 1, Reinhardt is a hero that goes and meets the fight and takes control of the fight, not a hero that lets the fight just come to him. Because the moment you let it come to you, you're kind of that Orisa that gets overrun by a very coordinated dive that's just sitting there waiting to get overrun. And that happened a lot. It happened on the first point, because that was how you lost the first point, because they just went underneath and you didn't react at all and you weren't there to meet the fight. It happened on the last bit too. Second of all, when you win a fight, which definitely happened a few times, you go and take ground. You want to take ground, retake ground that you lost previously, not just let the enemy kind of pick up where they left off from the previous fight. That's another big thing. That's just Overwatch. That's not even Reinhardt. That's just Overwatch. And you need to be the sort of initiative in that. And yeah, those are the 2 main things that I'd say. They're both like kind of positioning related, but Reinhardt is like 90% positioning, so I feel like it makes sense.
Yep. To climb out certain SIs, you also need to rely on your team a little bit more. I'd say just you kind of didn't expect your team to look after certain flanks. That's why you were constantly, rushing back to deal with stuff like a tactical visor soldier that was running through. Trust in your team. Also, don't be afraid to take a little bit of damage. Your shield died so many times because you were so scared to just take a little bit of chunk. Fair enough, you don't want to get hooked, you don't want to get hit by Doomfist. Your shield has nothing to do with that at all. You're still going to drop your shield if a Doomfist punches you in the face. However, taking 100, 200 damage when you have a Mercy and Zen on your team healing you as well is perfectly fine. If it means that if they see your shield die, they're going to take more advantage of that than you dropping it for a couple of seconds, taking a little bit of damage. So trust your team to look after you a little bit more, and that also frees you up to be a bit more aggressive. Because, you know, when you're going up against a Doomfist area or whatever, you need to be a bit more careful, but this was just far too conservative that you were giving away space for free. Before we actually finished, there was one thing that we wanted to highlight on attack: forced fire strikes as Reinhardt, and just perfect punishment for it.
Basically, a lot of it kind of is... They've been attacking really well. You see, they have 5 minutes on the clock. Like, things are fantastic right now.
Yep.
You know, they're through so much of the map, but you can just start playing it right from here. Basically, you have these fire strikes that is trying to throw out a lot to gain ultimate charge to try and get these shatters, which is a decent way of thinking. But fire strikes is the sort of thing that you get punished for more and more. But if you throw them like this, you will get punished even in plat. And
this
you
is
see
the one.
The
this is
walk
the
up
one.
and the stun and the hook. It's just everything is there. So. This happens a lot with, for example, traces that want to throw pulse bombs. They walk up and they kind of don't shoot for a little bit because they're kind of like thinking
lining
in their
up
head.
the shot a
yeah,
little bit.
exactly. And that was what was happening there. Except there was also a cooldown on the fire strike. Just wait, give it 2 seconds. The fire strike cooldown will be off, and you can even jump above the cart and fire strike safely and not get hooked. Instead, you walk up. Yeah, don't hold your shield up. You're ready to go. You get stunned by the Brigitte and then hooked by the Roadhog, and the entire push falls apart. And now it's desperation mode because now that whole previous amazing push throughout the whole map has failed. So
it's easy to sort of I need to get my ultimate quickly, and Earthshatter is a really big ultimate. But like from the Earthshatters that we've seen this game, none have been like game winning. They've been good. Some of them have been solid. This is going to be a perfect one leading up to it. You know, it's these kind of situations. It's like I'm generating my ultimate as fast as I can to get Earthshatters to win the game, and that realistically doesn't sort of boil through, especially with the sort of spammy comp that they're playing.
Yeah.
You're just going to get somebody, including yourself, killed.
All in all, like one very important thing I'd say as well. I don't know if you did it in the lobby before you started recording or something, but you should have really told your Roadhog in this game, talking to the player, or if you are a Reinhardt in this situation, tell your Roadhog that's pretending to play off tank to actually play off tank, because you need a Zarya here. You don't need a Roadhog for spam.
Even a Diva is not a bad. Just Roadhog right now is in such a.
Zarya is so good here because you have so much spam that can go into it. You have Riptire, you have a load of things, but on top of that, it's just
Ravid win a fight.
Yeah, exactly. And they already have the Zen. Like it doesn't matter. They already are. They're already popping trans in really poor situations. It's fine.
Yeah.
They would have gotten away with it. Zarya would have helped you relieve pressure here. It would have gotten you kills. And it would have been just a great hero to have on your team. But
yeah, I think this is just a good description, good example of just a forced play. Trying to do too much with Reinhardt and trying to almost carry it in a sense, which I think is going to backfire more than anything. But that's something we really wanted to highlight, the defense as a whole. Look back on that, make sure that you're not making those same mistakes as we wanted to highlight. We'll be sure to do more of these if guys want to see them, be a bit more succinct to the point. We don't want to waste anybody's time, really. That's the whole of Overwatch Central.
We just hope it's helpful
to
Reinhardt players at this SR, at a bit lower than this SR, or whatever. If it was helpful to you as a Reinhardt player, let us know. We're going to do more of it, submit your votes below. But yeah, that's basically it.
Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.